What is up, guys? It is Mikeman WBA here, back again with the first proper episode of our Tiger Pro Wrestling series, based in Japan, of course, in our draft database. We are here for the first show, Tiger Tuesday number 1. We have got lots of champions to crown and a big roster to unveil to our fans. Let's jump straight into it. So we've actually got a couple of pre-show matches which will be showing off some of the guys that we didn't draft but we have signed in the build-up to our first show. And our first pre-show bout is Mascara Dorada defeating Jason Lee in 7 minutes and 45 seconds by pinfall with a corkscrew somersault senton bomb. Dorada getting a 61 in-ring performance, which is very good, even though he was really off his game. So it'll be good to see what he can actually get along with when he's doing well. And Jason Lee getting a 44, which isn't too bad. No work improvements, but two former Cruiserweight Classic competitors. Mascara Dorada, obviously known as Gran Metalik, currently in WWE in real life. We've got him in as his old gimmick from Mexico, as Mascara Dorada, and he could be a very big player in the junior heavyweight division, which is actually a junior heavyweight division which is stacked with Mexican talent at the moment, so we will have to look to bring in some more junior heavyweights for that roster. Hopefully some more Japanese guys, if not maybe a couple of UK or American guys as well. But we'll move on to our second match of the night, which is another pre-show match between two teams that are near the sort of bottom of the card, as Team White Wolf, A-Kid and Carlos Romo defeat the team of Cavernario and Titan in 8 minutes 16, when A-Kid defeats Titan by pinfall. You'll notice I have no idea how to say his name. I'm saying Titan because of the accent and because it's Mexican, and I don't want to call him Titan, so it's Titan. Titan got a 33, Cavernario got a 26, A-Kid got a 37 and Carlos Romo got a 38, so two good performances there by the White Wolf guys. Slightly disappointed by the two Mexicans, but hopefully they'll build up. I believe Cavernario is very young, as is of course both members of Team White Wolf. I'm not sure how old Titan is. We'll have to see how they do in the next couple of weeks, or the next couple of shows. But we do have some performance increases. A-Kid and Cavernario improving their performance skills, and Titan improving in his rumble skills, which is always good to see. After that, we go to the main show, and we have Justin Thunder Tiger welcoming the crowd to the first show. Some weird chants from the audience. Sounds like they're saying Liger, but that's not his name. His name's Tiger. And he introduces us to our first match. And the first match of the night is a 10-woman battle royal with mostly talent that we have signed since we started, but also some that we drafted. And it is a 10-woman battle royal featuring Arisa Nakajima, Heidi Lovelace, Hikaru Shida, Kaylee Ray, Konami, Maya Yukihai, Mayu Iwatani, Risa Seda, Sayuri and Viper. And the winner of this match is Viper in just over 10 minutes, last eliminating Mayu Iwatani, and the other members of the final four being Hikaru Shida and Kaylee Ray. Viper getting the most eliminations out of the entire match. No work improvements unfortunately for any of the women involved, but a decent match rating of a 53C- as we introduce the crowd to what is actually our entire female roster, minus the ones you'll see in the women's title match slightly later on. After that, we go into a 1v1 with two very young up-and-comers, as Darby Allin defeats Ryota Umino in 8 minutes and 11 seconds by pinfall with a coffin drop. Darby Allin with a 28, Umino with a 24. No worker improvements unfortunately, and a 30E+ match rating, which isn't great, but these guys are very young. I wanted to get them both on the card because they can be the future of our divisions if they are built up, and it's always nice to get some of the younger guys on the card. And second match of the show is a decent place for him. And I didn't want them on the pre-show. After that, we have a promo from Akira Tozawa backstage. He is going to be in the main event. It's a triple threat match for the Heavyweight Championship. And he just cuts a promo about his opponents, Tomohiro Ishii and Tetsuya Naito. And that gets a 59C, which isn't terrible, but isn't brilliant. But Tozawa doesn't have the best charisma in this mod, but decent enough. After that, we have what I think would be a very, very good match in real life. We have Andrade Cien Almas versus Kushida, and it is Kushida that picks up the win in 14 minutes with a Midnight Express. Kushida with a 77 in-ring performance to Almas' 67, but Almas improving in technical skills as that match gets a 74 B-. So the first match for Ally J, and unfortunately their first loss. We'll have to see how Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito get on later in the night. But Kushida picking up a big win in his Tiger Pro Wrestling debut, and we'll have to see how he does in future, whether he'll be a force in the junior division, the heavyweight division, or whether he will sort of be in the open weight title picture and sort of dominate there. We're going to change Almas' gimmick because he got a poor. Hopefully his cool dude gimmick will do well. It did, it got an above average, happy with that. Almas, an extremely cool dude indeed. Following that, we have a tag team match, our first tag team match of the main show, and it is the Lucha Bros getting the victory over All Out, Space Monkey and Yuki Uno when Penta defeats Space Monkey by submission. Unfortunately, Space Monkey and Uno don't work well as a team, with their timing being all over the place, so it is looking like we're going to have to pick up some other members of All Out to team with either Space Monkey or Uno. Haven't decided which yet. We'll have to see what happens in the future shows. Phoenix getting a 50, Penta getting a 51, Uno getting a 28, and Space Monkey a 34. Wasn't expecting Space Monkey to get a higher rating than Uno here, but not complaining because Space Monkey is, of course, a favourite of mine. Phoenix and Penta, decent, not as much as I thought they'd get in ring, but again, they're new-ish to Japan. I don't know if they've wrestled there often or at all, so good to see that they're doing decently already, and both of them improving in performance skills, which is very good. And these guys could be a very, very big force in the tag division as well as the junior heavyweight division in the months to come. But we're going to move on from this as the Lucha Bros attack the two members of All Out, Space Monkey and Yuki Uno, after the match, really putting themselves over as the bad guys in this situation. Penta and Phoenix aren't here to play games, they are here to take no prisoners, and they will be taking gold at any opportunity that they can. No further improvements here, and we'll go on to the next segment as we have a match between two guys who will be near the top of the card but weren't quite in the title picture for our debut show, as Kento Miyahara defeats Konosuke Takeshita in 15 minutes and 9 seconds by pinfall with a lariat, with Miyahara getting an impressive 77 and Takeshita getting a 70, so not a good showing for All Out here in our debut show, but they're all on the card and put up decent performances against guys that are arguably slightly higher up in the pecking order than themselves, with Kento picking up a big win here as he starts his push towards the heavyweight title. We're going to move on from this to our first championship match of the night, as Chad Gable defeats Kyle O'Reilly in 14 minutes and 26 seconds by submission with an ankle lock that he has adopted from his idol Kurt Angle, and Chad Gable wins the Tiger Openweight title on the debut show. Chad Gable getting a 49, Kyle O'Reilly a 46. Not the best in-ring performances from these guys. I was hoping they'd be high 50s to 60s, but they can be built up. Both very good in-ring, and the Openweight title probably going to be more technical based, or sort of guys that are more mat based and in-ring skills, rather than sort of the junior heavyweights being for the sort of not spot monkeys but the more aerial guys, and the heavyweight title being for just sort of the guys that are really over and more sort of character wrestlers than performance wrestlers. Although there will be a bleed between the two. So Chad Gable wins the match, but we have a gimmick change for Kyle O'Reilly. Hopefully this one will be good like Almas's. And it is. He has changed to a cocky gimmick that got an above average, although despite being cocky, not good enough to win the title here against Gable. Next up, we have Gable celebrating, which did poorly, but he's not very over yet. And Gable, not the best on the mic, will have to win people over with his pure wrestling ability as opposed to his character work in the ring. And after that, we have our junior heavyweight title match, and it is a ladder match. And in 14 minutes and 6 seconds, Hiromu Takahashi wins the title by retrieving the belt that was hanging above the ring, defeating Bandido, Flamita, Kip Sabian, UT and Volador Jr. along the way. Volador Jr. really off his game as Takahashi really stood out head and shoulders above the rest with an impressive, very impressive 82 in-ring performance. Next up was Flamita with a 54, Volador Jr. with a 51, Bandido with a 45, Kip Sabian with a 37 and UT with a 34. Fairly impressed by Kip Sabian there. I wasn't sure how well he'd do in his debut in Japan. Sort of kept up reasonably well with the others, slightly below, but he is very young indeed, and did actually do better than UT, who I thought would be a little bit better than that. But the other guys sort of where I expected, and Hiromu doing very well indeed with that 82. UT improving his performance skills as that match gets us a 64C, which is pretty good for the junior heavyweight division, especially considering Hiromu is the only guy in this match that is above mid-card. And I believe Kip Sabian and UT were both openers, maybe Volador Jr. was as well. But I think we have a pretty strong junior heavyweight division here in the company, and we can get some good matches out of them in the future. After that though, we have our tag team title match, and it is Dream Future Shigehiro Irie and Keisuke Ishii versus the Motor City Machine Guns, and it is MCMG that win the tag team titles when Alex Shelley defeats Ishii by pinfall with a Made in Detroit. Machine Guns had excellent chemistry teaming together, which is nice to see, as Sabin got a 69 and Shelley a 77, while Ishii got a 50 and Irie got a 52. It's going to be very hard to say those names one after the other because they are fairly similar sounding. No work improvements unfortunately, but we have the Gaijins winning the Tiger Tag Team titles. So far we are 2-1 for foreigners winning titles, with Motor City Machine Guns and Chad Gable both having titles, while Takahashi has the junior title. Spoilers for the next ones, they're both fully Japanese matches, so the Japanese guys are going to win 3-2 overall. But impressive showing from some of our, I guess, imports. They aren't really imports because they're going to be based in Japan and work exclusively for us. But the foreigners doing some good showings here in our debut show, which is held in front of 8,000 people, which is sold out World Memorial Hall. I'm not sure where that is. I believe it's in the Kinki region of Japan, but I'm not quite sure of the city. That's the wrong team celebrating after that win, but it's a 40D minus nonetheless. As let's just change that from celebrate to they're disappointed. Sabin and Shelley celebrate on the way out of the ring. Irie and Ishii look disappointed in the ring, and that gets us a 40D minus. After that, we have our women's or Joshi title match, and it is Meiko Satomura, the veteran, defeating Io Shirai, Kairi Hojo and Asuka in 16 minutes and 27, when Satomura defeats Hojo by pinfall while using the ropes for leverage. Satomura wins the Joshi title. Not actually what happened there. Satomura winning that way. I don't know why it hasn't actually gone through in the text, but really what happened was Meiko Satomura's protege Dash Chisako. I'm not sure how to pronounce a lot of these names. I think it's Dash Chisako. Ran down to ringside, distracted Asuka and Io Shirai, who were fighting on the outside. Hojo got distracted as well. Meiko rolls up Hojo, picks up the win, and the veteran is our first Joshi champion. Satomura over 62, Hojo over 64. Io Shirai disappointingly got a 54. Asuka got a 77. And no worker improvements, but Asuka with a very impressive performance as well. The other women, Hojo Satomura did slightly better than I thought. Shirai did slightly worse than I thought, to be completely honest. I thought she'd do better than these two, certainly. But a 65C is not a bad rating for our 4 lead women going into the future. And following that, we go into our main event, as Tetsuya Naito defeats Akira Tozawa and Tomohiro Ishii in 21 minutes and 53 seconds, when Tetsuya Naito defeats Akira Tozawa by pinfall with the Destino. Naito wins the heavyweight title. He also carried the match in terms of in-ring performance with a very impressive 88, as Akira Tozawa gets a 70 and Ishii gets a 73. No worker improvements on that one. As we continue to the post-match segment, where Los Ingobernables escape up the ramp celebrating with both of their titles. Naito with the heavyweight, of course, Takahashi with the junior, and Almas in between them, holding their arms up in the air. Almas unfortunately underperformed, but Naito looked good in this, as we get a 62C for Ally. Well, it's just not Ally J anymore, it's just Ally. Ingobernables standing strong at the end of the night. We cut back though to Ishii, angry about the loss. He really wanted that title. He wants to prove himself. He grabs the mic. He demands Andrade Cien Almas as his opponent at the next show to prove he's worthy of facing Naito for that heavyweight title. And we'll have to see what happens with that. And after the show, we have a couple of interviews with Meiko Satomura and Dash Chisako coming out first, talking about how Meiko won the title. Meiko says it doesn't matter how she won. She is the Joshi champion. She is the best woman in the company, and she will be holding that title for a very, very long time. And also we have LIJ doing a press conference about how they hold 2 titles and how Almas is going to beat Ishii, and then he's going to challenge Chad Gable for that openweight title, win that, and then LIJ will hold the bouts. And perhaps they'll even form a tag team and go for the tag team titles. And then they really will run Tiger Pro Wrestling. However, we end this show as it is with a 71C+, which isn't bad for a debut show. It improves our popularity in 8 regions, which is the 8 regions of Japan. I believe our company size is midway up cult, so anything above a 65 is good for us. So 71C+ is nothing to laugh about. We're going to do a little speech. We're going to thank Asuka, we're going to thank Tetsuya Naito, and we're going to thank Hiromu Takahashi for their great performances. They look like they could really carry their respective divisions going forward. And we'll have a quick look to see if anything else happened. Just on mail. Almas thinks UT isn't tough enough for the business, and that we should probably cut him from the roster. Not going to happen. Not just yet anyway. So Almas will have to be disappointed. I'd show you the first show of our rival company in Japan, but he doesn't have a show until the middle of May because he's set as a touring company. So we will have to see how they do in a later episode. But thank you guys for watching our debut show. The next shows will be shorter. I just really wanted to get the vast majority of our roster on the first card, just so we can see sort of where we stand with a lot of people. The next cards will probably be 7 to 8 matches as opposed to the 12 that were on this one, including the pre-show matches. But that is all for this one, and I'll see you guys soon.